We're currently in the middle of a 6-month road trip around New Zealand, and with the luxury of time, plus a week-long weather window on the west coast, we decided it was time to head to South Westland for a bit of an expedition. Our plan was to walk up a remote South Westland valley, base ourselves up there for about 5 days, and then packraft out. We were going to hunt the bush around the hut in the valley itself, and then head to the tops to hunt some tahr. Our packs were fairly heavy with all our packrafting, hunting and alpine gear, so we were pretty grateful to dump the packrafts after about 10 kilometres. We spent the next day based out of an awesome little hut by the river. We glassed a deer on a slip in the morning, and Bernard decided to take Sam Dog up to give him some deer indicating practice in the bush.
So Sam and I have been walking up this face. Grace and I glassed a deer up on a clearing, but we thought we'd go for a little bush stalk. And we were sneaking up, and it's a pretty nice open bush around here. And he was winding pretty hard, and we could smell deer, so we snuck a bit forward, and I could see the shoulder of a hind. So I shot her, and she disappeared. And then just above me, maybe 15 metres, a fawn appeared, so I shot that, found the fawn, and then we tracked the hind, and there's the two of them. Sam.
With venison steak on the menu that night and a stew cooking on the fire for our return, we decided to head up to the tops and try our luck finding a tahr. As we started our slog up the hill, we spooked another 2 deer in the riverbed, which I managed to get on camera, so that was pretty cool. We climbed about 1,200 vertical metres before arriving at a pretty awesome little rock bivvy. Bernard's just fixing his boot that he has held together with wire and cable ties. How's it going for you, Bernard? The rock bivvy was our home for the next few days, so we unpacked our stuff and headed up the hill for an evening hunt. The coolest part of that day for me was actually having a little chamois buck run right up to us, probably about 10 metres away, and whistle. Then he just jumped off some bluffs and disappeared. Luckily for him, we didn't have the gun out. Also didn't have the camera out, unfortunately, but it was pretty cool. We also saw quite a few kia and some karerea, which was pretty awesome to see. We found a great valley containing a few tahr, including a little young bull who ran right up to us, probably within about 20 metres or so. I hope for his sake that he becomes a bit more savvy when he next sees hunters. Bernard spotted a bull about 400 metres away that looked pretty good, so we snuck a little bit closer and Bernard decided to have a crack. I watched the shot through the binos and it looked like a good hit. But Bernard ran over to where we thought it had fallen and we couldn't see the tahr at all. In the meantime, I'd watched a tahr run over the ridgeline and disappear, and I wasn't sure if that was Bernard's tahr or another one, so we were a little bit confused. Bernard just shot a bull tahr from about 380 metres. Oh. The light was fading quite quickly, so to avoid negotiating bluffs in the dark, we decided to head back down to camp and have another look the next day. We headed up and this time followed the dog, and he took us straight to a stone dead bull tahr that Bernard had killed with a pretty nice chest shot. So yeah, that was a bit of an emotional roller coaster, but we got him. So with pretty full packs, we headed back to camp, cooked a tahr shoulder over the fire, which actually turned out pretty good. and then had another freezing cold night in the rock biv before we headed back down. Back at the hut we filled up on stew for a night before we headed back out to our pack rafts. Saw some fuel in the river, which was awesome, and got to float out with our really heavy packs, so pack rafts are the way to go. Back at the road we thought the trip pretty much couldn't get any better, but it would be a bit rude not to jump in the ocean, seeing as we're on the coast, and try our luck with some west coast crayfish. Sure enough, we managed to get a big cray for dinner as well, which was wicked. So we've just spooked a couple of deer, so we've decided to get the gun out, and we've figured out that Bernard's left his security system on. Luckily, we've accidentally pulled. At least we can use our gun on our hunting trip. I guess we can agree that there's only been one major fuck up on the trip.
What was that?
That moustache.
Sam,